Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Paul Brown Show. We're shooting live at 2 Expose You Studio. We have Mr. Daryl Goodman, he's the founder. Mr. Ray Harvey, he's the chief engineer. And today I have back as my special guest, Dr. Michael Addison. How you doing there, Dr. Addison?
Oh man, Paul, I'm doing pretty good.
Good seeing you.
Thank you for bringing us back in.
Yes, sir. You're a candidate for South Carolina's 6th Congressional District. How's that campaigning coming along, sir?
Well, the campaign is very interesting because what we've noticed is that there are a lot of people in our district that needs a lot of help. Mm-hmm. And so as we're out here campaigning, the emphasis has become more now on helping people where they are, more so than just campaigning. Okay. Or maybe that's just the theme of the campaign now, helping the people. And so, but we're reaching out to various constituents across the country. We're getting calls from various news media. We're not launching the campaign until November the 5th, and that's for strategic reasons. Okay. But we're running our grassroots efforts and meeting the people where they are and helping them where they are with various things. And, you know, especially the pandemic. Yes, sir. And the epic proportion of people dying and getting sick in our communities. So we're reaching them there. Congressional District 6, a lot of people are not participating in voting, especially black men. So we're trying to encourage the black male to tell us, what's your agenda? What is it that you need? Being a black male, I mean, I know what some of the issues we have, but I don't know all of the issues that other groups have, because those who are having financial struggles, they have different issues. Those who can't get the doors open to certain opportunities, they have different issues. Those who are having domestic situations, people who are having issues with their children dropping out of school. You know, so there are a lot of things going on, paying for college, furthering their education, finding jobs, getting a decent livable wage. These are things that people are telling me about in parts of the district. And then there's the ones who are telling me about the inflation. I had a meeting with a gentleman named Joe. He owns 167 dump trucks. And he's like, his business is struggling because now his inflation is up 15%. So things he has to purchase for his company, it's been, his net worth is diminishing because his profit margin, he's losing profit because his expenses have increased by 15% if he can get the parts for his vehicles and things of that nature. And so there are a lot of issues going on. And I think the main issue is the failure of communication with our current leadership. Everyone is up in DC doing their thing. We're talking about an infrastructure bill. We're talking about the pandemic and mandating vaccinations. And now we have another variant to the COVID-19. And so there are things that are happening here on the ground in our district, in this corridor of these 16 counties, that we could address locally without DC. And that's what the campaign is focusing on. And one of the things I really want to stress today is weight management.
Okay, great. Why did you select that topic, sir?
Well, the studies show, and after being in practice for 30 years, I developed something called Dr. Mike VasoFlow, which is a product that we use to help people with their overall health. But what we're finding as we're out in the community is that probably about 70% of our constituents are overweight. And a large percentage of them are morbidly obese. Morbidly obesity means you're 20% over your base weight. Now, what happens when you get 20% over your base weight is that you develop diabetes, you develop congestive heart failure, you develop hypertension, and a host of other conditions set into play as a result of being overweight. Now, most of the people say, well, maybe it's the thyroid. You know, I can take that into consideration. But I think the major issue is our caloric intake. How many calories are we taking in versus the number that we're burning off? And I think that's a major issue. Now, when we talk about obesity, a lot of people say, well, you know, don't just put it all on people being fat. It's not a matter of being fat, because if you're 20% over your base weight, then your body begins to have certain experiences that are challenging and even more challenging. And so when you encounter COVID-19 and you're morbidly obese, you have a 10-time chance of dying from COVID-19 by being morbidly obese than you do if you're not morbidly obese. So we're really working on that because people are just not focusing on the health issue from that perspective. And so we really need to talk about the obesity because that is a major problem in the African American community, but really the whole district and statewide is the obesity.
Okay, there's a lot of people that want to lose the weight, but how do we begin? What's the first thing we should do when we want to start losing weight?
Well, I think one of the first things you should do is visit with a doctor and help them and find out what your baseline is. Find out what your blood pressure is. Find out what your vitamins and mineral levels are. And find out what your antibodies are like. Now, why you want to know those things? Because when you go into a certain modification of your diet, it can affect the body wholesale. So that's one of the first things we do. But under my protocols, I have a detox protocol system that, I mean, you lose about 10 pounds a month, guarantee, and it stays off. And we just use all natural home remedies. And so one of the first components of our system is drinking reverse osmotic water or drinking distilled water. At least drink your weight in ounces of water. And some people say, well, that's a lot. If I weigh I weigh 200 pounds. So you want me to consume 200 ounces of water? Well, not at one time. You break it down to basically a 10-ounce glass of water every hour, or maybe 16 to 20 ounces, a 20-ounce, or a liter. If you could do a liter every hour at room temperature, it has to be at room temperature because if you drink cold water, it takes the body 81 seconds to heat that water up in order for the body to use it. Who do you know that drank cold water and got cold urine? The only person that got cold urine is a dead person. So you don't ever urinate cold fluid. So, but when the body in the process of heating up that cold fluid, it creates mucus and inflammation. That's why we want you to drink the water at room temperature. We also want you to get your herbal tea, warm tea, and the ingredients that I put in it. And let me say this, always check with your physician before you use any remedy. And this doesn't guarantee that everybody's going to have the same results, but we know people get results. And so under my protocols, people who come under my treatment plans, we give them the herbal tea, it's like a detox tea, that comes through physicians' offices. Along with that detox tea, we add apple cider vinegar. And what I prescribe is 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for every 80 pounds of weight. So if you weigh 160, you want to put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in your tea. Then you want to use a half freshly squeezed lemon in the tea as well, along with honey. Now, if you're diabetic, check with your doctor, and you could use another form of sweetener like stevia, something natural. But those who are not diabetic, I suggest using honey. And you drink that twice a day, along with your water in ounces. And you get in 15 minutes of exercise at home. Whether you're doing jumping jacks, squats, you can do your exercise in your bathroom. But what you want to do is you want to raise your pulse rate to about 140 beats a minute. And you want to raise your pulse rate, and you want to hold it there for about 15 minutes. No more than 30 minutes. Because once you exercise for 30 minutes, the body continues to burn calories for up to 4 hours. And all you need is 30 minutes of exercise. And you can do that while you're watching your favorite TV show. You can do that while you're listening to Dr. Mike on the Paul Brown Show, And as you do that, you'll see in about 2 weeks, you'll see notable change. Now, most people lose inches before they lose weight. Because people say, well, how am I going to get all the fluid off of me if I'm drinking this much water. When you drink distilled water, it pulls the free radicals, it pulls the impurities out of the body and helps flush it out. See, as you use my tea, when you use my tea to detox, you got to have something to flush. You got to have something to flush the system. And that's what we're doing. So kind of like, imagine tearing down a wall in a house. That's the detoxification. But do you leave the debris in the room? No, you got to take it out.
Correct.
So you got to detox and cleanse. Detox and cleanse. And that is very important with helping the body build antibodies to fight off COVID.
I know there's a lot of products that's in our stores that are promoting weight loss. What do you suggest? Or should we go buy these products, or should we stay away from certain products? You know, there's so many different products out there that people try because they want to lose that weight, but these products, are they helpful, or are they just a form of making money for these companies?
Well, of course they're going to make money. This is the capitalistic society we're in, so everybody wants to make money. But the question is, it depends on your blood type. You need to know your blood type because you want to eat right for your blood type, and that's very important. You also want to look at the product and take it to your physician and get them to research it and see if it has in it anything that's contraindicated to the medication you're taking. What I just mentioned in the Dr. Mike protocols is all natural. The only thing would be a disclaimer with honey as far as diabetics. But as far as vinegar, lemon, juice, and tea, those are things we consume on a daily basis. But in those combinations, it gives it a medicinal benefit. It helps the body to lose the weight, release the weight. And when you start releasing the weight, releasing the inches, you start releasing vitamin D. Because the vitamin D is stored in the fat cells, especially in the abdomen. So we want to release the vitamin D. Why do we need the vitamin D release? Because we need more of it in our blood system to help the body build antibodies to fight off COVID. Even if you get vaccinated and you don't have vitamin D, you cannot build antibodies. So your body's going to have a major challenge fighting it. And now we're seeing more breakthrough cases of people being vaccinated, contracting COVID and spreading it. That's why we encourage people to wear the mask. I know some people are against the mask, but the mask is not so much to keep it from coming into me, but it's to keep me from putting it out to you.
Correct.
That's the major issue with the mask. And in my mask, we always use peppermint oil. We use peppermint oil as an aromatherapy. It's an essential oil, but what it does is it kills the virus on spot, on contact. And so there's a lot of products, to go back to your questions, on the market, and a lot of different things work for different people. But here's something that's sustainable. Most people drink a cup of coffee or tea every day. They do it religiously. It's nothing new that they have to do other than take those ingredients that they already got in their kitchen and put them in combination with what's in the cup and drink it twice a day. And with a little bit of exercise, and they may have to incorporate that, a little exercise, and you'll see a tremendous difference.
Okay, when people want to get more information about this, how would they contact you?
What we suggest people do is go to our email, Dr. Mike, or DRMIKE, the number's 821@gmail.com, and just send us a message. That's DRMIKE, the number's 821@gmail.com, and just request the information, and we'll send the protocols over to them for free. And we'll work with people, because if we don't get people healthy, we're just going to keep dying from this virus, because it is real. And even with the vaccine, if your body's not strong enough to help build the antibodies, you won't even build an artificial immunity to the virus. So we encourage people to build a natural immunity. That's when you come in contact with the virus and your body creates the necessary antibodies. When you take the vaccine, you're only creating one aspect of antibodies to the spike protein in that vaccine. You don't get the full virus. But when you're exposed to the virus, your body develops a full antibody regimen to help you defend yourself against the virus. Because what it wants to do is it wants to get inside of your cells, take over, and then it produces more viruses through your cells. Your virus cannot live without a host. So you become the host, and your body begins to make more cells from those viruses.
Okay, we're running short on time. One more question. Okay, I know we're living in a fast food society. How does that affect our weight? And what's your rules on that?
A lot of it is trans fat. But once, like we said from the very beginning, if you take in 2,000 calories, and if you don't burn off 2,000 calories, you're going to have to store those calories somewhere. So regardless of what you really eat, if your metabolism is set so you can burn off more than you take in, your weight is going to come down automatically. So what I did, I just cut everything in half. Like if I go order some wings and fries, instead of getting a dozen in fries, I get a half a dozen in fries. So I'm cutting everything in half. I get a smaller plate when I get my servings, just reducing the portions. And that will help. I mean, people are going to eat the fun food. The industry has already told you that it's not nutritional at all. It's just fun food. And we can't stop that. So we got to incorporate that into the system.
Yes, sir. Again, if someone wanted to contact you, how would they go about doing that, Dr. Addison?
They can email us at drmike, D-R-M-I-K-E. The number is 821 at gmail.com. And also they can call us at 803-269-3443. That's 803-269-3443. And of course, they can reach us on Facebook. They can reach us, Dr. Michael Addison, on Facebook, and send us a message, and then we'll go from there. But I thank you guys for giving us this opportunity, Paul, to sit and chat with you, because we have to work on the weight management in our community in order for us to build the antibodies we need to create a herd immunity to push this virus back.
Dr. Addison, thank you for coming on the show, and I look forward to you coming back on the show, telling us some more, not only about your campaigning, but weight loss and some more important topics that we can discuss to our community.
Well, the next time we come, I want to share with people, the government has set aside billions of dollars. If you've lost someone to COVID, you can get up to $300,000 for your family. So the next time we come, let's talk about that, and we're going to have the applications available in my office for those who want it.
Okay, great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show. You be encouraged. Thank you.